Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier are set to go head-to-head this weekend in what's expected to be an explosive trilogy fight.
Alex Pereira just posted an update.
He's currently weighing in at 110 kilograms, that's around 242 pounds. The guy looks massive, and that size could be a real factor going into his next fight.
Ficando pouquinho forte, né? Pô, não tem jeito. Vamos ver aqui, ó. A hora da verdade agora, hein? Quanto? Chega aqui, Cauê. Cedo. Dá pra ganhar mais pezinho, não?
Dana White dropped some exciting news. He talked about the UFC possibly hosting an event at the White House and said it would be like the Sphere, but on steroids.
Obviously, everybody wants to fight on that card, and that's a good thing because we're going to put on the best card we've ever done for that White House event. Imagine, just think about what I'm going to do for this fight, and then think about what Trump is going to do for this fight. You know what I mean? It's going to be it's a one-of-one experience. Like when we did the Sphere, it's the Sphere on steroids. I mean, it's going to be a one-of-one event. There'll be nothing like it ever again.
That's a huge statement, and if it happens, it could be one of the most epic UFC moments ever. Paulo Costa is stepping into the octagon against Roman Kopylov at UFC 318. In a recent chat with Ariel Helwani, Paulo opened up about how his relationship with Dana White has gotten better. It all boiled down to one thing: money. Paulo felt underpaid before, but now that things are better financially, he says they're finally on good terms.
I support you, my friend Ariel Helwani.
Thank you.
I support Bryce Mitchell. I support Dana White right now.
Why right now?
Because back in the days I wasn't supporting him, but now.
Why didn't you like him back in the day?
Back in the days we have some beef, you know. Not really he did bad things to me, but I was a little bit sad, mad. You know.
Which time frame was this? Well, which time was this? When you fought Izzy?
No. Because my first 6 fights in the contract was horrible. I was unfair getting paid, you know.
Yes.
And I try to I talk very honestly. Say, guys, come on, look, this is unfair. You know, I will be close, engaged to this contract for a long fight period. This is not fair because of bad decision in the past. But
at UFC Nashville, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson took on Gabriel Bonfim and lost by split decision. But that result didn't sit right with a lot of people, fans, fighters, even Wonderboy himself. In an emotional interview with Ariel Helwani, Wonderboy said, "I felt like I won. I landed clean shots, I moved well, I did more damage. Bonfim is a tough dude, I give him credit. But when everyone, my coaches, the media, the crowd, are all shocked by the decision, you start to wonder what's going on. I've been in this game a long time. I know what it feels like to win. I didn't feel like I lost. My family, my team, everyone who saw it thought I won. So what do we do about this? There's got to be more accountability with judges. I know it's not on the UFC, it's the commissions, but we need more transparency." Meanwhile, Nate Diaz is looking to make a comeback and wants either a trilogy fight with Conor McGregor or a showdown with Ilia Topuria. On the Out Cold podcast with Chuck Liddell, Nate was raw and real. "If I could fight anyone, it'd be Conor. With all due respect, there's really no one else right now. I'd like to see him come back and show everyone what he's got. Not that he has to prove anything, but people are doubting him. And I'd love to beat up someone on top again. Ilya's doing great. A little small for me, but he's also an option. And in boxing, Canelo, Crawford, I'm not begging for anything, but when I beat someone, I'm coming for them too. That's my plan." Aljamain Sterling gave his thoughts on the Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov fight. He's leaning towards Kopylov. Since Costa lost to Israel Adesanya in 2020, he's gone 1-4. His only win? Luke Rockhold. And Rockhold retired right after. Aljo says Paulo just hasn't looked the same since losing to Izzy.
I mean, Kopylov could probably come out there and teep kick him to death and win the fight. I don't know, Costa seems like a shell of himself lately, man. It's hard. I mean, he had that one spinning hook kick moment against Luke Rockhold, but in the past few fights, he hasn't looked like the Rockhold, the Costa that fought Yoel Romero on his way to the title shot. I feel like Kopylov has been running pretty hot right now, so I want to see Costa win, but I'm leaning towards Kopylov. I think Kopylov.
Daniel Cormier recently joined Demetrius Johnson on his YouTube channel. They disagreed on something big. Mighty Mouse said he thinks Tom Aspinall doesn't need John Jones for his legacy, but DC wasn't having it. He believes Aspinall absolutely needs to face John to cement his place in the sport's history.
I think John Jones' legacy doesn't need Tom Aspinall as Tom Aspinall.
Needs John.
I don't think he does.
He does, bro.
He doesn't.
You know why?
Why?
And I'm only telling you this from a guy that lived in that world, right?
Yeah, you lived in that division.
I also never beat him.
Yeah.
And I had, no matter what I did going forward, it was always that, well, you never beat John Jones. Tom Aspinall is going to get that belt, and there's going to be a gap, right? That lineal championship breaks. That line breaks. When Tom goes from interim to champion. Because John never gave him the opportunity to fight him.
But either did Francis never gave John Jones the opportunity to fight him.
Francis was going to give John an opportunity. John wasn't ready to take it at the time.
Exactly.
Right?
So there you have that same type
so
of thing.
it keeps breaking. Francis left. Made a boatload of money. So in retrospect, Francis probably made the right decision because he got paid so much money to box.
Bryce Mitchell is in Abu Dhabi getting ready to fight Saeed Nurmagomedov next weekend at UFC Abu Dhabi. But things got intense even before the fight. Bryce revealed he nearly got into a full-blown brawl with 6 guys in a gym changing room. That's crazy, and you can just feel the kind of wild energy he's bringing into this bout.
This story is not for entertainment purposes only. This is an educational story for all of y'all who ain't been to Abu Dhabi. This is my first time in Abu Dhabi, so I'm kind of learning the rules still. Okay, so let me tell you something. In Abu Dhabi, a changing room is not a changing room. You do not change in a changing room. I don't know where you change, but you certainly don't do it in a changing room. Okay, so what happened is after training, I was at a gym. I took a shower, and I go from the shower to the changing room, which is right next to the showers. And I go out of the shower butt naked into the changing room to change into my clothes. There were 6 Muslim men in that changing room. Apparently, me being naked greatly offended them, to the point where I thought that they might actually start a fight with me. And they started walking at me. They started yelling at me. And I could tell that they were mad because I was naked. Because they wasn't mad when I walked in. They was only mad when I got out of the shower. And I was like, okay, well, they must be mad that I'm naked. And I didn't know this until it was too late. So I got these 6 dudes about to fight me. And I'm trying to tell them, hey, I'm sorry. And so I was sitting there exposed before my fellow man. And by the way, there was a cold breeze in that room. So not only am I exposed before my fellow man, I'm outnumbered and I'm outsized, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm not feeling very confident at this moment. And I got these 6 dudes yelling at me, walking at me, telling me leave, leave, leave. And then, thank the Lord, TJ Brown comes in. He says, hey Bryce, you all right, brother? And that was the happiest I've ever been to see TJ Brown in my life. I proceeded to tell them I'm sorry over and over. And then they finally let me get dressed. And brother, let me tell you, I've never put on my blue jeans and my boots quicker in my life than I did that day. And then I got the heck out of that locker room and I learned my lesson. So let me tell y'all, if you're in Abu Dhabi, do not get naked in front of none of these dudes. In the changing room, it don't matter where you're at. I'm just telling you. Because I ain't going to be happy. You might get into a fight. And I just wanted to share that with y'all because you might find it funny. But at the time, it was not funny. It scared the hell out of me. So there you go. Hope you...
Now here's something that's gotten very personal. UFC middleweight champ Dricus Du Plessis trolled Khamzat Chimaev hard ahead of their fight at UFC 319. Khamzat posted a serious photo of himself on X without a caption, but Dricus, he clapped back with a photo of himself that clearly mocked Khamzat's scar and wrote, same, just need a little more work on the beard. A Khamzat fan account fired back saying, "We did it better with another photo." And Dricus responded again saying, "Yes, I agree. But the word better is very, very relative." This back and forth isn't just for show. There's real heat here. These two are not just fighting for a belt. They're out to break each other. It's not about rankings anymore. It's personal. Meanwhile, Alexander Volkanovski is backing Max Holloway to beat Dustin Poirier. Volk believes Max has grown a lot since their last fight and will approach this one differently. Talking to Fox Sports Australia, Volk said, "He's coming off his first ever knockout loss. That's tough. A lot of fighters never come back the same, but Max is different. He's the kind of guy who comes back better. He learns, adjusts, and improves. I think we're going to see a more calculated Max, just as tough, just as skilled, but smarter, and that's dangerous. If he comes back better than before, it just proves how great he really is." And that wraps up the latest news. Every one of these stories, from Max versus Dustin to Dricus and Khamzat's trash talk to Wonderboy's heartbreak, shows just how raw, intense, and unpredictable this sport really is. Thanks for tuning in.